Thanks everybody for coming to the brainstorming session. I really appreciate it. We're going to have a lot of fun. I want to set a few rules just so that we can make this as efficient as possible. We want to make sure that we're open to everybody's ideas and that we're not making fun of anybody or criticizing what we say. And we want to make sure we try and come to one final agreement that we can all agree on that is the best idea. So just be really open, have fun, enjoy your food. It'll be a lot of fun, okay? That's true. Now that we are all enjoying our sushi, we are going to start off with Daniel telling us about what we are brainstorming about so that we can begin our first round.
The idea that Lindsay came up with is a sink that can also be used as a dishwasher so that you can save room in an apartment or if you're using a dishwasher or sink.
Initial 5 to 7 minutes of ideas. What I want you guys to do is spit off the first idea that you have. We're going to go around the circle a few times, and if you can't think of something, just say pass. But we're going to do this fairly quickly. This is just a way to throw out the ideas that we've made already. So Emily, if we want to start with you, and we'll go towards Claire, and then Dana, and then Daniel.
Stainless steel. A second sink just in case.
Make sure there's a quick rinse cycle.
I'm just sketching out everybody's ideas.
By yourself brainstorming is over. So we're going to do similar to what we did in the first round. I just want you guys to go around, say your ideas as wild as they may be, as much detail as you want to go into. And if you really can't think of anything, we're going to pass on to the next person, and then maybe you'll think something else to add to your list. So let's start over here with Dana this time.
Okay. It needs to run on a plug-in.
But what if it floods?
Well, it's grounded just like a disposal, so I mean, it's going to deal with the same thing. I mean, all the electrical systems on most disposals are watertight anyway, so the rest of the system will be alright. If it overflows over it, the only problems that you might have is if it works its way down the cord into the wall where it possibly might not be grounded. That depends on who installs it, but it should be fine just as long as your whole house isn't underwater. You should be alright.
Okay, now that we just completed our 3 rounds of the brainstorming, we have all the ideas on that center piece of paper right there that Emily's got. And what I want you guys to do is you each get about 8 votes for the ideas that you like. So some of them are pretty basic and some of them are kind of wild and crazy, the ones that we came up with later. So you get the 8 votes. You can either put like 1 vote at each one, or you can do 5 votes at one, 4 votes at the other, whatever you guys want to do. If you really like an idea, you can use more votes there. And then we're going to kind of use that to come up with our final prototype idea. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. So we'll start it off with Emily. She's got the paper right there, and I just take your time and read through everything again and just pick what you guys want to use.
So this is generally a rough sketch of all the ideas that you all have been bouncing around and everything. This is a frontal view. Here's the cabinets, here's the sink, here's the machine itself. Here's an overhead view with the tray removed with your second sink and with the machine itself and with the disposal over here in this corner. We have a hose, which somebody mentioned that they wanted to be able to take this one out, and since they already have faucets that do that, we just use one of those. We don't really have to come up with anything special for that. And it'll be able to reach both sides of the sink completely. Here's an inside view if you remove the cabinets of your drain system for the normal sink. This one would be connected into this one before it goes into your standard sewage. And it's grounded. It goes in one way, so if any flooding were to happen, it'll flow down. There's a chance that it could flow down the cord, but since the cord goes down before it goes back up into the wall, water can't go up, so it will never get into the wall. So you don't have to worry about if your contractor's not that good and can't install waterproof cording. The machine has the dial here in the front. The stainless steel would be all over the front here and on this. The back part, whenever you store it, it goes up and it blends in with your faucet and everything, so it's not in your way, so it's not always hanging over. It's got a standard latch like all the washers do. It's got your digital display screen right there. It's got your spray heads on top though, is the only thing different with this one. This was kind of my idea because I don't like the whole spraying from the bottom and using the water that you've already used to rewash the dishes, because then you have to drain it. So for your quick rinse mode, what you were saying, you could use this and it would just use the hot water. And I was also thinking that we could do slight sprayers on the side where it's in the housing itself, so it gets it from all four sides, and then it gets it from the top so it all drains down and you're not reusing the water. And then all the water will be held in the disposal until it's time for it to be evacuated out, and the disposal will run for a little bit in case there's any large food particles that might be stuck in there. That way it doesn't clog up your system since it's going straight into your sewage afterwards. So it should mill everything down small enough that you don't need to worry about it. And then the tray is completely disposable for whenever it's only a single sink function, so that whenever this sink isn't there, you can take the tray out, set it to the side, set it under the machine, and use it just as a normal sink with a disposal. And your sprayer head should be recessed in just enough into the lid that you shouldn't have it hanging out too much, but depending on spacing, whenever we actually go to mapping out for a prototype, we might have to have it come out a little bit. The thing that we could do with that though, is we could have a removable spray head, one that locks in, that you would just simply press it in and lock a bolt in the back, then it would come forward, locking it in place, and the spray head would just spin on its own after that, whenever we actually start putting the numbers to the design and it actually needs to be a little bit further out. Just to keep it small, simple, and so it'll fit in your apartment.
Where are we gonna put the dishwashing soap?
I'll put soap in your dishwasher.
I have 3 sons. I've been married 3 times, and I wear a size 3 shoe.
That was 3 threes.
Threes.
That's
That's
nice. She thought about that one. I know which one it is, but
I guess against that it's not the shoe size. Where's the marriage? You're a mystery. I was thinking about the shoe size. Yeah, that's okay. I like the shoe size.
married.
Marriage. I've only been married twice.
You
She
have a
wears
size
children's
3.
shoes.
Size 3.
Children's size 3?
Children's size.
Oh my goodness.
She gets hand-me-downs from little kids.
Hey, that's nice. They're cheaper. Like.